Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. My name is Dr. Rita Sonko, a public health physician. I am the host of this show, and I aim to help you engage with different guests to understand more about mental health. Remember, Toli Wekka, you're not alone. It's very important for us to break the stigma and break the silence about mental health. Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. I am here with Mr. Daniel Lwaasa.
Yes.
Yes, Lwaasa.
You pronounce it right.
Yes, Lwaasa. Yeah, I'm getting confused, but yeah, I'm so excited to have you today.
Thank you so much.
And you and I were talking, and I realized that you actually have so much experience and insights from your personal, perspective. And at Toli Wekka, we're trying to get messages out and create more awareness. And same thing you're doing at the Mental Health Awareness Initiative, trying to create as much awareness about mental health. Yeah. So our partnership is a very exciting development. And I thought that today we will have a chance to actually share a little bit more from a personal perspective. Yeah. So that our audience can see, different perspectives around mental health. So before we start, maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Rita. I started getting to know about you. This was last year around July there.
Yeah.
Mid-July.
Yeah.
When you were launching Toli Wekka.
Yes.
So me as a person, I was very happy.
Yeah.
As like at least we are getting someone else in the space who has come with this nice name of "You're Not Alone." Yeah, and I'm thankful for that. And even everything that we're looking up to, things that we're going to do, it's really a nice one. Yeah. My name is Lwaasa Daniel. I'm a proudly born again person. Yeah. And I'm a father, yes, of 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. Oh, yeah. And I work in the field of medical tourism.
Oh, yeah.
That is now my professional work, office work.
Okay.
And then passionately, I love mental health. Yeah. Not because I'm a psychologist or I counsel people. I don't counsel people. Sometimes I just use my story to heal them, for them to get what they would want to know more about what they are facing or what they're going through. So most of them just ask me, how did you go through this? Yeah. What did you do for you to to be there?
And that is powerful, because a lot of times when we've experienced things, other people are going to experience or are experiencing as well. When we share our story, it really brings hope.
Yes.
And that is what is really amazing about telling our stories.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming to tell your story on this podcast. So our audience can also benefit from that.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. I don't even know where to start from. Because it's so many years. If we were to go year by year, the podcast might be
3 days,
might be maybe 4 or 5 days. But just in a nutshell, I have a word that I move with these days. And yesterday I was somewhere in a fellowship and someone still said the same word.
Right.
There's somewhere in the Bible where I think it was Apostle Paul was saying that all things work together for the good of those who believe and trust in the Lord. And I have come to understand that scripture day by day. As certain things happen in your life, you learn to appreciate it. Yeah. So I got a chance on understanding the depth of it, where someone explained it more. That when he talks about all things, and then he explained the all together. Yeah. Meaning that if me and you join forces, the outcome, the effect would be much bigger than the individual effects. Yeah. So but in the Bible it continues to tell us that count it all joy. Yeah. Whether you're going through tribulations, whether you're going through, but in most cases when you're going through such things, we are left out. Yeah, I would call it in the wilderness. And sometimes it's the nature of people. People never see the good. People always look for that one thing, which is the bad, and then most of them will cling on it. Some of them don't come out to say, but why is this person like this? Yeah, very few. The Bagandas normally say, I don't know. It's a bad what? A bad word to me. I don't believe in it, but because I've met people who like love you the way you are. But there's something people say that omwavu ayagala nyina. I don't know if you've heard about that. Ayagalwa nyina. So it's the meaning, mother who love their child. Meaning that in anything that you go through, the only person that can understand you might be your mother. But again, still in life we find God places certain people. Some of them might not even be your mother. Exactly. Some of them might be people that you've just met along the way in the life, and then He makes them do something for you in your life. So me, I was born in a family. When I was growing up, we were 4. But at the time when my dad passed on, we realized we were more than that. Oh wow! So we're about 9 children. Yes. Yeah. So we're about 9 children, and I am there, the first 2. We are the first 2 boys, and I have my sisters, and my dad passed on in 2020 during COVID. He died of cancer, and I studied professionally. I'm a marketer, and so many things have been cropping up. Yeah. And one of the things that have been teaching me, they've been teaching me only one thing: resilience. If anyone, I know this sharing is going to be a bit short. So I'm going to just stick on that resilience kind of part of the story. And one of the things that I would say is, growing up, I didn't grow up with both my parents. I only saw them for a small time when they're together. Wow. So I ended up growing up with my mother. And my father was distant. And when I was growing up, there's something I used to tell myself. By 30, you must be married. By 30, you must have a home. You must have like a family, proper family. And I looked up to it. So at the age of 26, I got married. Yeah, I got married, did a wedding, and everything was good. Yes, everything was good. Not until I'd say not until those first few months of COVID. Of course, in when you're married, there you cannot say everything is moving on a clean slate. This is a person that you've just met. You don't know them. If you can even clash with your own parent, exactly. If you can even clash, the one who gave birth to you, and they cut you off. I don't know how you call that. The umbilical cord. Yes. If you can clash with your parent, now this person that you've just met, and God is telling you you're going to believe this person in the same house. You wake up to this person every day. So there's always going to be that kind of misconception, misunderstanding. Cultures are different, and these days it's something that I tell people. Culture is a serious thing when it comes to this thing. Yeah, absolutely. Unless you're mature enough in your brain to actually understand that I am marrying someone, for example, from Karamojong, from Karamoja, and this is their culture, and you understand you as a person. But they'll never miss those small things of this person does their things this way.
Yeah, yeah.
And for us, we expect things to be done this way. So you fail to meet
that's
at
kind
a
of
neutral.
clash,
Yes,
basically.
yeah. So it was all good in and out. Not until I think when a tragic thing happened just after my dad passing on. My dad passes on, and then after I get a very bad accident that finished the whole car, and then I got out. Nothing had happened to us. We were a group of friends, were like about 5 people.
Wow.
And the car was written off, but no one even shed any blood, nothing.
Miracles.
We didn't even have seat belts. We didn't nothing. But I would say it was just God. And also there was a lot of resistance in that year, 2020. The resistance of taking my life as a person, where I got COVID, like so many things happened in that year. And then, but things happening, bad things happening. The previous year, 2019, was like a peak. Where now everyone started knowing who Daniel is. So something happened. I made I would say, a bad financial, I call it a bad financial decision. That I didn't consult too much. I didn't. And then it went out sour. So now when it went out sour, so many things resurrected. Things, some of the things that you didn't even know. So to cut the story short, I went back home one day, and I found an empty house.
Wow.
Yeah, I found an empty house where your whole family has gone, and now you are alone.
Wow.
And I remember sitting in that house, and I asked myself, what next? That day, like 2 days ago, you were at police. That's that financial decision I'm telling you. Some business that I was going to do with a friend of mine. And then we had some little money, so we borrowed money from different people just to do it quick. And then we lost money in 2 months. A lot of it. And you're there stressed. Anxiety is too much. I used to fear my phone. Seeing it ring, I would just know. So anxiety was too much. So many things happening at the same time. No one would understand you. The people you got money from think you played them. And then you cannot explain to them that this is what happened. The only person that could understand you at that point is God. And somehow what the devil does, the devil attacks us with guilt.
Absolutely.
So it will attack you and it tells you, but your wife told you this, that don't go there. Your friend told you that you went there. So that guilt keeps on haunting you.
Being condemned.
You be condemned. And then even someone calls you and then says all those words. So I enter this house. It's empty. I'm like, now, the first person that I talked to, a good friend of mine who is a pastor, he told me one thing, Kati okuze. I expected him to, like pray for me. You know how you can seek for counseling? He just told me one thing, Kati okuze. Stayed in this house. I stayed in it for about 2 weeks. And when I was there, so many things piled up. I didn't know things like PTSD. I never knew that things that we go through in childhood can mount up to emerge at a certain point. I never knew that being in too much fear can lead you to something. I forgot God at some point, at that point, because I was like, but God, what I was praying for, it has gone. So is it you who has taken away this thing that I've always worked for, or what? So I found myself into a situation of becoming suicidal,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
starting to envy my father, because by the time he had just passed on, started envying him. I was like, okay, this one is there. Yes, he had his good dates by the time he died. So in my head, I was like, no one is demanding.
No one is demanding from him.
No one is looking for him. He's resting. And then I'm sorry, I'll be talking at the same time a bit teaching, because at that time, that is the time where the devil wants you now to. That's his end game. Is to kill you, because he came to steal, to destroy, kill, and destroy. So that is his end game now, to kill you. So there's so many behaviors that I had learned in that short time. Excessive use of alcohol. You're not eating. I had grown too much thin to like no friend you talk to, and you know, they would be like, okay, now we understand you, Daniel, you're in this situation. No one you talk to, and
so you were isolated basically.
I was isolated. I was fearing to tell my mom these things. She has the, bad pressures. Okay, she knew that I'd gone into this, but there's some things that I was fearing to open up to her, because of how much they would treat her, and the worry and all that. So I was like, you alone, you don't know how your son is going to look at you. You don't know how people are going to look at you. Everyone that you try to explain to, they are judging you. We told you, we did this, and all those other kind of things. And then I found myself in a rehab. Yeah, and I had made up my mind. Went, did everything, bought tablets, everything ready to take. And God uses people that you never expected to use in this life. And so God used someone that I never expected to cut that short. And this person took me to rehab. I was there. The most important thing that I even tell people up to now was I got someone who talked to me, and this person was a born again. So it was like when she was talking to me, it was like she was reaffirming everything maybe that I knew before, and reaffirming them into my own life, to forgive myself, love, and allow the situation that has happened, because most of the time I was living in denial. Even for the longest time, not even just only that time. Most of the times you would live in denial. You'd create a situation and put it there, and you feel like this situation is actually happening. Without knowing it's a mental health issue. And then you'd wake up in the morning. This is funny, but you'd wake up in the morning and you see a toothbrush there and a toothpaste, and there's water in the house, and you choose not to get the toothbrush and the toothpaste to brush, and you just rinse water in your mouth. You've lost that self-care. There's hot water in the bathroom, and then you just enter and you touch the water like this, and certain things would happen. You be there, and then you wear a boxer, like men. This now I know certain men understand this. You wear a boxer for like a week until it becomes uncomfortable for you. You understand? So I'd lost that kind of self-care. And those are some of the things that go when someone is in severe depression. Yes. You don't want to care. When you're in all the time having those constant headaches, all the time, constant headaches, all the time wanting to be alone, and wishing you're not here. You're dead. And wishing you're not here. So it was one thing I thank God for is God gave me a spirit of resilience. Whereby someone who saw me in 2020 or 2021, most of them, when they find me now and the work that I do, in most cases, they ask themselves, how are you here? How are you still here? You understand? They ask me, how are you here? I'll give you an example. 2022. Because for me, this was my goal. I never wanted to stay alone. something happened and I accepted it. So 2022, God brings up another person in my life. I was not yet properly healed, and I was still living in that kind of life, but I had done already like therapy, and I had gone through. I was trying to put back my life in order.
Rebuild,
And then 2022, God brings someone else in my life who was totally different. This is now when I bring the scripture of everything works together for good.
Absolutely.
And this person is totally different lifestyle, different. By the time you even look at her and you look at yourself at that point, you didn't see yourself connecting. But things move like way smoothly. I would say, where you don't find any challenge. So I got engaged again. And am I the one who gets engaged? Oh, I don't know. I engaged someone again. That time, I got someone again, and this person now was like, it was like something to be like a continuous therapy for me. Because even I normally ask her a question that sometimes it's selfish, but I normally ask her, but do you know why God brought you in my life? Or do I even know why I'm in your life? Because sometimes we lose that. And then when you think about the lives of people, of young people that we have touched in just a space ever since we met. If me personally, I think about the lives of young people that I've talked to, we'll talk about something different, maybe sometime, a big topic that I have realized, and every time I talk about it in these young people, mainly the boys, most of them keep quiet and listen, because over 90% of young men, young adults and teenagers are suffering with this thing called masturbation. That the enemy brought to just take away the self-worth of a man. And it looks nice. Whites call it pleasure. They give it all that nice names. But culturally, us here in Africa, it is just something that is designed to take away the worth of a man. And I got a chance to understand it more through a friend of mine in Kenya, and also read more about it, and also with my own personal life, because that's an addiction that I fought for years to fight. I fought so hard to try to stop. And I would see it. And everything that someone would tell you, you've seen it happening to you, you know. So it would be like first-hand information. So I'm touching a lot of things. But
there's a lot of insights that come from your experience.
That is a whole. When I start, my partner knows that when I start talking about it, I don't know, you cut this in one or the other, but my partner knows when I start talking about that topic, I don't stop, because it's here on my heart. And when I find a young person struggling with it, I feel like I don't want to leave that young person, because they don't know
what they're dealing
with, and where it is going to end. So,
but in a nutshell, what you're really saying is that your personal experience and all the horrible things that happened led you to a place where you now meet someone else and you create a new
and
life.
This person now we are compatible. I would say we are people. Sometimes people find us. There's a someone who asked me, but how did you meet this girl? How do you guys live, together? Because at that time when they asked me, we were totally different people. That's the truth. And one of the things that I've learned is God makes people meet for one reason. That's purpose. The moment he aligns your purposes together, and he knows that when you two, that's why from the time we met, we never discuss anything else. We might discuss our personal things, but every time we discuss our personal things, they end in how are we going to go in schools. We have this outreach. You understand? So it has always been a purposeful meeting. And I want to thank him. I want to thank God that from that time, I have learned to start appreciating life, appreciating people, and also knowing that people understanding. I never understood that thing of you're not alone in the things that you're going through. So I only understand it now that sometimes you'll be talking about it, and then someone just comes to you and they tell you, I am struggling with this thing. Or someone just comes and tells you, I don't know what to do to my wife. You know, how did you go through all these things? Or how did you manage to get out of this thing? You know, us men, we were built in a concrete thing. People compare us to lions. It's very hard to see the ego of a lion. Now that's how men are. We are God created us in this whole image of we don't share. And then sometimes I blame this too much thing of women emancipation that have praised women so much and then left the boys and the men. The boy child is kind of left out. And then if they don't know one thing that a broken man, if I'm broken and I meet an empowered girl, it's very easy for me to break that girl. And you give birth to a male boy broken, so it's very easy for like the cycle has to be continues like that. So we have to go back to the beginning of where this whole thing started from. Men are not catered for. Men are going through things. Let me tell you something. If you ever go in a congregation of men when they're only speaking about their issues, you realize that all our issues are the same. So women have different issues, so many of them. But when you go in the circles of men, you realize that the work to do on a man is very little. The issues are similar, because the issues are similar. Just address that one issue. If it is finances, address that one issue. If it's family, just address that one issue. But the biggest issue is that ego. You know, it's that ego. So I want to thank you. One day I will come back, doctor, and and you tell me, come, we talk about this. I come and we talk about that. But I want to thank you for this initiative. And when I got to see it personally, I was like, it would be nice for us to. It's relatable. When you go to someone and tell them like Toli Wekka, it's just like us when we had that name of Tukule, and then we couldn't, we couldn't explain it that much to people, and then yes, we might have started it on a different scale, and then God gave us this now mission of go and preach mental health, use evangelism as one of my tools to sell me to the young people, which we have done for the past 2 years. And we've seen an incredible change in the lives of young people, and we're still doing it. Maybe I'll share one testimony before I finish. And this testimony is, I have so many testimonies, but this one I have failed to understand why God did it. You know, it's mysteries. It's like a miracle that will happen, because 2023, around March, April. I come back to my fiancée and I tell her, by that time we had gotten our last born, the baby girl. And I tell her, I think we need to go to Nairobi. Just like a normal conversation. So she also thought about it. She's like, I think let's go to Nairobi. So we planned things. And I remembered that scripture of when God told the children of Israel that every place you place your foot, I've given you that place. So we planned things, no plan. Most of the people even think that we have too much money, even when we're in Nairobi, because the things we're doing, creating awareness, going to universities, doing all these summits, and then going to schools. And most of the people were saying that maybe these guys have too much money. Because none of us was working there. None of us. We just wake up in the morning and we're there. And then we faced a very harsh period now.
Yeah.
Last year, August, September, October, where now the devil fought because we entered into a period of fasting and we're asking God on how we're going to move our 2025.
Yeah.
Because by then we had already done 2023 very successfully, and now 2024 we were re-strategizing because we're doing most of the work in Kenya.
Right.
And now we are into that moment of prayer.
Yeah.
And then we get serious battles where you be there out of the blue and you start fighting. And then after you ask yourself, but why were we fighting?
You don't
Who said
remember.
what? You know? And
Yeah.
then like so many things happening. Finances get lost. Everything, money totally gets lost. Like, and then you ask yourself, what was I doing in 2023? It seems like it's the same kind of life, but what different thing was I doing in 2023 that I'm not doing now?
Right.
So we're like, I think we need to go back to Uganda because that's where God blessed us.
Exactly.
My meeting you was for the lives of children in Uganda.
Yeah.
We need to go back. By the time we made that decision, that's when all these fights came in. And now coming back to Uganda, you're coming back to what? You're coming back to starting from zero.
Yeah.
You know, you left, you've been disconnected from the system for like maybe 1.5 years. You're starting from zero literally, you know. And towards October there, before we came back, in February, I'd applied for a job with what I'm doing, the Turkish company.
Yeah.
So when I applied I didn't apply actually. A friend of mine linked me up to this company. So I did interviews, a series of them. And then I didn't get a response. So I'm there asking God, I'm going back to Uganda and I'm going with my whole family.
Yeah.
What next?
Yeah.
Where am I going to put them? What are they going to eat? Which school are they going to? What are we going to do? Where are we going to stay? And then we start having those conversations of, I'll say this in Uganda.
Yeah.
Then my fiance tells me, but you know what? I think we can go back. For me, I go back to my mom. And then for you, maybe you go maybe to Europe or gendo nonye chokola. Then for us, we can stay here. And, you know. And when we had that conversation, I used to take walks. So I was taking a walk and I was having my meetings. I normally take walks and I have my meetings where I go ask myself questions and I respond to them. I told God, no. If you allow this to happen, I think this is going to be, it's going to be a whole social, a whole different kind of thing that you brought to me. You're splitting. Because if you're splitting the family, because me, I take families too much serious. You know, because I know that's where joy, happiness, peace, freedom, all these other things start from there. You know, the joy of waking up in the morning and you seeing your children, the joy of waking up in the morning and you seeing your wife, you're together, planning things together. That is the joy. That's why the enemy, his only fight is on many and family. I was there 2 weeks before, 2 weeks to coming back. You're in Nairobi, you have all these bills, you don't even know how you're going to come back, no transport. I received a message from the person who connected me and he's telling me, Daniel, are you still interested in working with this people?
Wow.
I read the message. This guy had spent like a few months without talking to me. And I tell him, yes, I'm interested.
Yeah.
And he tells me, okay, they'll reach out to you.
Wow.
You know how someone can just say they'll reach out to you, and then you start putting him on pressure. You're like, why is this thing not happening? I want them to tell me. So after like a few days, God helps me. They reached out, and I got a job.
Just like that.
Just like that. You do a different interview, and you get a whole different position in a job. And then you come back, and you sit down as a family, and you be like, I think God has a very good purpose for our lives.
Absolutely.
You see these puzzles that you're doing? All our lives are puzzles.
Absolutely.
God has the final puzzle.
That piece that you've been looking
for. He has it.
Yeah,
so He will place you in places. And the only thing that we need to learn to ask God, why have you put me here? Let your will be done in this place that I've been put.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because by the time you understand that He has taken you to Kenya, just for you to learn to trust Him.
Yeah.
Because you're in a foreign land, you're eating, you're drinking, the kids are going to school, you're renting, you're like renting an Airbnb there for a whole 1 year and about 7 months. You're doing all these things and you're learning to lean on one person, not a friend who has promised you money, not a friend who has promised you a job, but you're leaning on one person who is God. So we learned to trust Him. And then the only one that I got, even when I was moving, was, I have you in my hands.
Exactly.
So whatever you're worried about, that is none of your worry. Just focus on why I created you. You have purpose. A very focus on that purpose that I created you for. So it changed my whole perception. We came back, and then you come back the 1 month, after 2 weeks, you're starting a new job. After starting a new job, we are starting now to see how are we doing schools, and now God is bringing you like a lot of things are getting aligned, and then we just tell God, I think the best thing that you're giving us is you have a good purpose for our lives.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Daniel.
I'm sorry I talk too much.
No, I mean, it's a powerful story, and for people to understand that, in life, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen to us, unexpected things. Your story is so powerful because it illustrates very clearly how things can go from very good, crashing down, and yet even with all of that, somehow God raises you up, somehow you survive by miracles, and things fall in place just like that. And but I think it's a message of hope.
Yeah.
It's a message of keep going. You're actually not alone. There are many people going through a lot of things, and if you speak, if you talk, if you call on someone, they will find ways to help you. But if you don't speak and you hide, nothing can get sorted.
Yeah.
So I think I'm so grateful for that message. And as we close, what is your one message you want to give to men out there?
Okay.
And I want you to probably say it in both languages, because we have men that we appreciate really hearing you say it in Luganda as well. So English first and then Luganda, just for people to get this message. What is your message to men?
There are two things.
Yeah.
The first one is when we hear the word Toli Wekka, sometimes it might go beyond just a friend that you might have, and you personalize it in the sense that everything that you're going through, God is with you. He might not come directly to you and tell you that, okay, go here. Sometimes He will use friends, He will use family, He will use people that you don't know. So He's with you. Yeah, and then secondly, to all men, young men, because I may not know what a 50-year-old is going through, but young men that are out there, let's learn to speak. Yeah. The one of the things that we know is a problem shared, it's half solved.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. By the time you start sharing your problem to a fellow man, sometimes just because God has created also some people who will use your problem against you now. So we have to keep ourselves to really have that level of discernment. Yeah. In most cases, before you share your issue or your problem with anyone. And then even if it's to your wife, let's learn to speak. Let's not fight wars in silence. She has done this, okay, let me also turn. Yeah, turn the other way and do this thing. So let's learn to speak, because there are so many young boys that we are raising, our sons, we don't know how they are going to fight these things. And then for them, the fact that they are growing up now on sort of like a silver plate, they're going to reach in certain things or life, and then they start seeing different kind of things that we never talked about. But the more we share,
the more we can
the
learn.
more people can learn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you
Really
so much.
appreciate it, and looking forward to more engagements
Yeah.
as we work together with Timai.
Yeah. Thank you so much.